Welcome the Lord's chosen. You're not intimidating, they're just not used to someone who can see straight through them. Pause for a moment. Ever noticed how some people suddenly clear their throat, get extra chatty, or shrink back the moment you enter the room? It's not your cologne. It's not your outfit. It's not even the way you raise that eyebrow when someone says something sideways. It's the fact that you give people goosebumps without even trying, and deep down you didn't even know you were doing it. Here's a fact for you. Psychologists have found that people can feel your energy within seconds of you entering a space before you even speak, and their nervous system responds accordingly, whether that's admiration, intimidation, or silent awe. Why? Because you got that it factor. That unexplainable electric undertone in your spirit that commands a room without raising your voice, that frequency that exposes what's fake without a single confrontation, that weight in your presence that even the proudest can't quite ignore. Some will try to explain it away. Oh, it's just their vibe. It's just charisma. It's the shoes. Nice try, but no. Not even your shoes are that powerful. The truth, you're built differently. You're wired to disrupt atmospheres, and your energy doesn't just walk in. It announces destiny quietly yet loudly enough to rearrange everything around you. Today we're going to unpack why you give people goosebumps without even trying, and how this it factor you carry isn't just random, it's a part of your assignment, your mantle, and your quiet power that speaks volumes even when you're silent. Stay locked in. You're about to understand yourself on a level that even your mirrors have been too scared to show you. Number one, your spirit walks into the room before you do. You walk into a room and people feel it before they understand it. It's like the atmosphere tilts, and suddenly everyone is sitting up straighter, acting a bit more aware, or going quiet for reasons they can't explain. It's not that you're trying to get attention. You just carry something that goes ahead of you and announces something real just stepped in. People might call it energy, but it's deeper than that. It's a spiritual signature that speaks without words. And it's why you've seen people treat you like a threat without reason, or stare at you like they're trying to figure out why they can't stop watching. This isn't about looks or loudness. It's about presence. You have a presence that commands without forcing because you've spent so much time with yourself, becoming whole in ways others only pretend to be. You've wrestled with your shadows, and now your light is not cheap. It's the type of light that makes people see what's broken in themselves, and that's uncomfortable for them, even if you're just standing there minding your business. You give people goosebumps because your energy carries truth, and truth always shakes what's false. People are used to small talk, fake smiles, and shallow connections. Then you show up with that calm, grounded, unbothered presence, and suddenly their souls feel seen, even if you haven't said a word. Some people want to be around you for that reason, even if they don't know how to express it. Others want to avoid you because the light you carry reveals the masks they're wearing. It's not about intimidation, it's about recognition. Their spirit recognizes yours before their mind catches up. And sometimes you'll notice people fidget, ramble, or get awkward around you for no obvious reason. They can't handle what you carry, but they can't deny it either. That's the level you're on, and it's why you don't need to announce yourself. Your spirit already walked in before you did. Number two, you don't force presence, you are presence. You don't force presence, you are presence. You don't need to prove who you are because your energy does the talking for you without needing a spotlight or a microphone. You don't walk into a room needing to be the loudest or the funniest, yet people notice you anyway. It's not because you're trying. It's because your authenticity is felt, and it's rare. Most people walk around craving attention, bending themselves into shapes just to be liked. But you're not built like that. You don't chase relevance, and you don't need to be seen because you're not living for an audience. You're simply living, and that alone draws eyes. Your presence is quiet but heavy, the kind that shifts a conversation just by you joining it. It's why people pause before they speak to you, why they feel the need to straighten up or rethink their words. You make people feel the weight of truth without saying much. You've done the work to be at peace with yourself, and that peace shows up before you do. It's why your confidence doesn't come off as arrogance, and it's why you don't need to take up unnecessary space just to prove your worth. You carry yourself in a way that tells people you are not desperate for validation, and that's why you're magnetic. You are deeply rooted in who you are, and that calmness is a language people feel even if they don't understand it. Some people will call you intimidating, but that's only because they've never seen someone who doesn't need to perform to feel significant. You're not trying to be different and you're not trying to stand out, but you do anyway because most people are loud about what they want to be, while you're quiet about what you already are. You don't force presence because your alignment naturally makes you one. You just exist, and that's enough to turn heads. Number 3, you aren't the loudest, you're the most felt. You're not the loudest in the room, but you're the one people feel the most. That's your edge, and that's why you give people goosebumps without even trying. You don't have to dominate conversations or prove your worth with endless talking, because your presence alone speaks louder than words ever could. People remember you because you carry an unspoken confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, and it lingers long after you leave. You are the type of person that people replay in their minds, trying to figure out why they felt something shift when you were around. You don't hide behind noise because you don't need noise to feel important. While others scramble to fill silence with words to feel seen, you're comfortable enough to let silence speak because you know your value is not tied to how much you say, but how deeply you live. People sense that depth in you and it stirs something in them. It's like they can feel your spirit when you walk past, even if you never look their way. And it disrupts their normal because they're not used to someone whose energy speaks before their mouth does. It's not that you're trying to make an impression, it's that you carry a frequency that's impossible to ignore. Your energy has weight because you've lived through things that have refined you, not defined you, and that quiet strength wraps itself around your presence. It makes people feel safe, seen, or convicted all at once. They might not remember everything you said, but they will remember how they felt around you because your presence leaves fingerprints on their spirit. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to prove yourself to be felt. You are felt because you're aligned, and alignment will always speak louder than noise. That's why people feel you deeply even if they can't find the words to explain it. And it's why your presence will always be more powerful than any performance. Number 4, you read atmospheres without permission. You have a way of stepping into a room and knowing exactly what's going on without anyone telling you a word. You can sense when the energy shifts. When someone's smile is masking something heavy, or when tension is hanging in the air, no one else seems to notice. It's not that you're looking for drama or trying to expose people, it's just that your spirit picks up what others try to hide. You can feel when something is off, and you can feel it deeply, even when everyone else is pretending everything is fine. It's the reason people sometimes act weird around you. They can't lie to themselves when you're around, even if you never say anything. They feel seen in ways that make them uncomfortable because your presence quietly calls out what they're trying to bury. It's not your fault you notice the cracks under perfect pictures or hear the fear behind confident words. It's just how you're wired. You read atmospheres without permission, and it's not something you can turn off even if you tried. People often mistake your quietness for passivity, but it's not that you're unaware. It's that you're observing everything. You can feel who's being fake, who's draining the energy in the room, who's silently screaming for help, and who's lying to themselves while trying to lie to everyone else. You feel it, but you don't always say it, and that alone shakes people. They know you know, and that's enough to make them uneasy. You're not trying to be anyone's savior, but your presence alone reveals what's hidden. It's the way your eyes pause on someone who's pretending, the way your energy pulls back when something's off, or the way you quietly redirect a conversation when you sense the truth being avoided. This insight you carry isn't a curse. It's a gift, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You are a walking discernment, and you don't need to announce what you see for people to feel that you've already seen it. Number 5, your confidence isn't noise, it's calm. Your confidence doesn't shout, it simply exists, and that alone is louder than any forced bravado. You don't feel the need to prove your worth in every conversation or to compete for validation, and that calm confidence unsettles people who are addicted to being seen. While others constantly look over their shoulders, measure their worth by applause, and over-explain to convince others of their value, you move with a quiet certainty that speaks for itself. You know who you are, and you're not in a rush to make others see it. You don't base your actions on who's watching or who will clap for you, and that is rare in a world obsessed with being noticed. Your stability comes from being deeply rooted in your identity, not from performing for approval. You don't need to wear your accomplishments on your sleeve to feel important, and you don't shrink to make others comfortable either. You simply take your place without begging for it. People can sense that peace, and for those who are constantly hustling for attention, it can feel like a threat. They don't understand how you can be so sure of yourself without the crowd, the hype, or the praise. They don't get how you can move so confidently without a constant need to announce yourself or broadcast every move. It makes them question their own foundation because your calm exposes their chaos. Your confidence is calm because it is not tied to outcomes, opinions, or temporary validation. You have learned how to trust your path without explaining every step to people who may never understand your journey. That's why your presence feels stable, and it's why people can either feel safe around you or intimidated by you without you saying a single word. You're not trying to take up unnecessary space to feel seen. You take up your rightful space because you know you belong there, and that chosen one is why your confidence will always be felt without being forced. Number 6. You turn rooms into mirrors. You don't even try, but when you step into a room, people start seeing themselves for who they really are. It's like your presence holds up a mirror they didn't ask for, and suddenly all the masks they've carefully put on begin to feel heavy. Some people feel drawn to you because they've been craving that level of honesty, even if it's unspoken. Others can't stand you, and they don't even know why, because deep down, being around you forces them to feel the parts of themselves they've been ignoring. You don't expose people publicly, but your energy does it quietly. Your authenticity makes people question their own performance. Your groundedness makes them realize how scattered they are. Your calm makes them aware of their chaos. Your confidence reminds them of how much they still seek approval. It's not that you're judging them, it's that your life silently challenges them to look at themselves, and not everyone is ready for that. You become the mirror that reveals what's real and what's fake. Some people will suddenly start telling you their life stories or confessions, feeling like they can finally breathe because you don't make them feel like they have to pretend. Others will avoid your eyes, change the topic, or keep a distance, not because you've done something wrong, but because being around you forces them to confront truths they're not ready to face. This is why you experience those instant connections that feel deeper than usual, while also experiencing random coldness from people who barely know you. They love you or resent you, and often it has nothing to do with you personally, but with what they see about themselves in your presence. You turn rooms into mirrors not because you're trying to, but because you live in a way that is aligned and unfiltered. And alignment will always reveal misalignment. Some will thank you for it, others will hate you for it. But either way, they will never forget how they saw themselves when you were there. Number 7, your discernment strips away pretenses. You have a way of looking at people that goes right past the version of themselves they're trying to sell to the world. You see what's beneath the carefully curated smiles, the overconfident talks, and the crafted social masks, and it's not something you're even trying to do. Your spirit just knows when someone is performing and when someone is being real, and that alone is enough to shake people. They can feel that you see them, and not just the surface-level version they show everyone else. It terrifies them because it's rare to meet someone who doesn't buy the image they've worked so hard to project. It also liberates them because for once they can stop performing if they choose to. Some people are drawn to you because they're tired of living behind filters and walls, and your presence feels like permission to be honest. Others will avoid you, throw shade, or even gossip about you because they can't handle being around someone who can see the parts of themselves they'd rather hide. Your discernment isn't about judgment, it's about truth. You're not trying to embarrass people or call them out, but you also can't unsee what you see. You notice when someone's words don't match their energy, when their eyes are tired even if they're laughing, and when their actions are rooted in fear even if they're masked as confidence. It's why people might feel exposed around you even if you've said nothing, and why they might say things like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," as they share what they've never told anyone else. You don't play along with the act, and that challenges people to drop it if they want to keep a connection with you. You don't reward fake, and you don't entertain pretense. Your discernment is a filter, and it makes it impossible for people to keep pretending around you for too long. They either align with truth, or they distance themselves to keep their illusions intact. Either way, your ability to see beneath the surface is a gift, and it will keep stripping away the masks of everyone who crosses your path, whether they're ready or not. Number 8, your energy holds people accountable. Your energy has a way of demanding honesty without you even asking for it. You don't have to lecture people, call them out, or make a scene for them to feel the need to level up around you. The way you carry yourself, the way you move with purpose, and the way you refuse to settle quietly exposes what others are trying to hide behind excuses. You don't force people to change, but your presence makes them question why they're still playing small, living fake, or entertaining distractions they know they've outgrown. People can feel it when they're around you. It's like their spirit knows they're in the presence of someone who isn't wasting their life, and it convicts them without you saying a word. They start to notice the gaps between who they say they want to be and how they're actually living. They start to notice how much they compromise to stay comfortable, how often they settle to keep peace, and how many times they've chosen fear over growth. Your energy quietly puts a mirror in front of them, and they can either decide to step up or distance themselves because they're not ready. It's why you've had people who loved your energy but couldn't stay consistent around you. It's why some people go silent after promising to do better, and why others step back without explanation. It's not always hate. Sometimes it's conviction. They know that you're not the type to pretend everything is fine when it isn't, and that you don't applaud mediocrity disguised as keeping it real. You don't tolerate manipulation, and you don't entertain hidden agendas because your spirit recognizes when someone's intentions are off. You don't have to threaten people for them to respect your standards because your energy speaks for itself. It either inspires people to rise higher or reveals to them that they aren't ready to leave comfort and excuses behind. That's the power you carry. You hold people accountable simply by living in alignment, and people will either match that frequency or remove themselves because they know you will never shrink to make them comfortable. Number 9, you carry a quiet prophetic edge. You have a way of saying the simplest things that end up sticking with people far longer than they admit. It's not that you're trying to be deep or trying to read people's lives, but there's a weight in your words that lands differently. You might say something in passing, something you thought was just a normal observation, and later find out it was exactly what someone needed to hear but had been too afraid to admit to themselves. It's like your spirit knows what needs to be said in the moment, even when your mind isn't trying to figure people out. You can be having a casual conversation, dropping one sentence that feels like a throwaway, and days later that person is still thinking about it because it confirmed something they were wrestling with in secret. They can't shake it because it wasn't just your words. It was the timing, the tone, the authority it carried that cut through their denial. People don't always tell you how much your words hit them, but you'll notice the shift in their eyes or the awkward pause after you speak. They might brush it off in the moment, but deep down, they know you just touched something real. Some will thank you later. Others will distance themselves because your words exposed the truth they weren't ready to confront. Either way, your presence and words plant seeds that crack open illusions, forcing people to look at what they've been hiding from. You don't have to use spiritual language or announce yourself as anything. Your life has been your training ground, and that quiet prophetic edge is a byproduct of what you've survived, learned, and walked through. It's why you can discern what needs to be said without overthinking it, and why your words carry confirmation that feels like a soft but sharp wake-up call. People leave conversations with you, seeing themselves and their situations with new clarity, and that's why your voice, even when calm, rattles spirits long after you're gone. Number 10, you are a walking permission slip for authenticity. You don't water yourself down to fit into rooms that can't handle your truth, and people notice that, even if they never tell you. You live in a way that says, "This is who I am, take it or leave it." And it's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. You refuse to shrink just to make other people feel comfortable in their smallness, and that boldness quietly gives others permission to stop shrinking too. People watch how you move, how you stand firm in what you believe, and how you won't trade your authenticity for acceptance, and it sparks something in them. Some have spent their entire lives hiding parts of themselves to keep the peace, or to avoid being judged. But when they see you refuse to dim your light, It reminds them they don't have to either. You become proof that it's possible to be fully yourself and still stand strong even when it's not popular. Your life challenges the fear in others without you having to say a word. You show them that it's possible to disagree without apologizing for it, to walk away from fake love, to set boundaries without guilt, and to exist without begging for approval. Your authenticity becomes a mirror, showing people what is possible if they choose courage over people-pleasing. You are a living reminder that small minds will always try to shrink what they don't understand, but you don't have to comply. It's why people feel safer around you, even if you aren't always easy to be around. They know you're real. They know you won't clap for what you don't believe in. But they also know you're not faking your support when you give it. Your refusal to water yourself down sets a new standard in any space you enter, and it inspires people to start showing up as who they really are, not who they think they need to be to keep others comfortable. You don't just encourage authenticity, you embody it. And that's why people feel braver around you, even if they can't put it into words. Number 11, you're unapologetically unreachable by manipulation. People quickly learn that you're not someone they can manipulate, and it rattles them more than they will ever admit. You can see through guilt trips and emotional games like glass, and you're not afraid to call them out with your actions, even if you don't say a word. You don't let people shame you into doing things that go against your spirit, and you don't bend just to keep the peace if it means betraying yourself. It's not that you're cold or heartless, it's that you've done the inner work to know your worth, and you're not about to hand over your power to anyone who tries to control you with fake tears, silent treatments, or backhanded comments. People who are used to controlling everyone with their moods get confused around you. They try to guilt you with phrases like, "I thought you were different," or "I guess you don't care." But you see right through it and remain calm. They try to twist your words, but you don't chase them to fix their misunderstandings. They try to make you feel responsible for their emotions, but you don't take the bait. Your boundaries are clear, and you don't backtrack just to make others feel better about their lack of accountability. You're not easily swayed by praise or crushed by criticism. And that makes people who thrive on power games uncomfortable. They can't figure out why their tactics aren't working on you, why you won't fold under pressure, or why you don't flinch when they withdraw their approval. It's because you're not here to be controlled, and you don't find your identity in being liked by people who can't even be honest with themselves. Your ability to remain unmoved by manipulation is a threat to those who rely on it to maintain control. But it's also a breath of fresh air for those who are ready to live in truth. You're showing people that love without manipulation is possible, and that respect doesn't require surrendering your voice or your peace. You're not hard to love. You're just hard to manipulate, and that's exactly how it should be. Number 12, you're a catalyst, not a comfort zone. You were never meant to be a comfort zone for people who want to stay stuck. Your energy naturally pushes people to confront what they've been ignoring, and while some find it refreshing, others find it unbearable. You don't let people keep telling themselves the same tired stories about why they can't grow, heal, or change, because your very presence challenges every excuse they've been hiding behind. You don't have to lecture or pressure anyone. It's just how your spirit operates. People either evolve around you or they find reasons to distance themselves, often blaming you for being too much, when the truth is they're not ready to face themselves. You're like a spiritual alarm clock they didn't set, waking them up to the parts of their lives that need to be addressed. You're not trying to be better than anyone, but you refuse to stay stuck, and that alone makes people question why they're still living small when they have options to grow. You don't feed victim mindsets with fake pity, and you don't enable patterns that keep people in cycles they claim to want to break. You'll support, but you won't coddle. You'll listen, but you won't let people stay in denial around you for too long. That's why you're a catalyst. You spark change without forcing it, simply by holding your own standard and living by it, no matter who agrees. People feel it when they're around you. They start to think bigger. They start to question their excuses. They start to dream again. But they also feel the weight of accountability your presence brings. And for those who are ready, you're a blessing. For those who aren't, you become the problem in their eyes, simply because you won't let them stay asleep to their potential. You are not here to make people comfortable in dysfunction. You're here to be a reminder that growth is possible and that it's okay to leave behind the comfort of denial to step into something real. You're not a comfort zone, and you were never meant to be. You're a catalyst, and people will either rise with you or remove themselves, and both outcomes are exactly as it should be. Number 13. You embody alignment, not just ambition. You're not just out here chasing goals to look accomplished. You're not hustling for validation or competing for approval. Your life moves by alignment, not just ambition. And people can feel that even when you're quiet about your next steps. There's a weight to how you move, a sense of purpose in how you show up, and it's why your energy feels different. People can sense that you're not driven by desperation, but by something deeper that calls you to take the next step only when it's right, not when the world demands it. While others burn themselves out trying to force doors open, you've learned to trust divine timing, knowing that what's yours won't miss you. You don't have to shout about your moves or post every plan for the world to see. You walk in silence, but your silence carries a presence that lets people know something is shifting, even if they can't see it yet. That's because your spirit is aligned, and alignment always speaks louder than noise. People often can't figure out why your progress feels different. It's because you're not chasing clout, you're following your calling. You know the difference between moving fast and moving accurately. You understand that ambition alone can lead people to places they were never meant to be, but alignment will always lead you exactly where you're meant to go. That's why you don't panic when things slow down, and you don't force outcomes just to say you've arrived. Your ambition is disciplined by your discernment, and that's why your steps are ordered even in seasons of waiting. People feel the weight of your mission even if they don't know the details, and it makes them pause around you. It's why you draw respect without demanding it, and why your life carries an authority that isn't loud but undeniable. You embody alignment, and that is what sets you apart in a world obsessed with empty ambition. Your path is deeper, your purpose is clear, and even your quiet seasons are heavy with intention, and people can feel it every time you walk into the room. Number 14. You leave spiritual fingerprints on every space you enter. You don't just walk into spaces and leave them the same. Your presence carries something people feel long after you've left, and it isn't about what you wore or how loudly you spoke. It's the energy you bring, the alignment you live in, and the quiet authority you carry that leaves a mark on every room, every conversation, and every person who encounters you. People may not always be able to put it into words, but they know something shifted after they met you. It's the way you speak life into dead places with one sentence, the way your calm makes chaos uncomfortable, and the way your truth shakes illusions people have been hiding behind for years. You don't even have to try to make an impact. It's just who you are. Your energy carries a wake-up call, and people can't go back to pretending once your spirit has touched the room. Your presence disrupts mediocrity and invites clarity whether people wanted it or not. It's why some people feel lighter after spending time with you and others feel exposed. Like the excuses they've been clinging to can't hold up anymore. You may not even realize the ripple effect you have, but the conversations you've had and the shifts you've sparked keep working in people's hearts long after you're gone. They replay your words, feel your energy in moments of quiet, and remember the way your spirit made them feel safe to grow or challenge them to stop hiding. You don't leave people the same, and you don't leave spaces the same. Your presence is a reminder that authenticity is possible, that spiritual alignment is real, and that living with purpose is not just talk, it's felt. You leave spiritual fingerprints behind that call people higher, and even if they don't thank you for it, they will never forget it. You're not just passing through spaces, you're shifting atmospheres every time you show up. And that's why your presence is a wake-up call, not just a visit. You didn't ask for this it factor, but you were born with it, and your journey refined it. It's why rooms shift when you enter. It's why people can't hide behind their masks around you. It's why your presence disrupts comfort zones, shakes denial, and invites growth without you having to force it. You carry a frequency that challenges hidden agendas, exposes false confidence, and calls out the parts of people that are ready to evolve. You don't chase relevance because you are relevant. Your alignment, your authenticity, your quiet confidence, and your unbothered spirit speak louder than any performance ever could. Some will love you for it. Others will resent you for it. but everyone will remember how your presence made them feel something real they couldn't ignore. Your spirit leaves fingerprints on every space you enter, reminding people of who they could become if they stopped shrinking for small minds and started honoring the truth in themselves. You're not here to blend in, you're here to align, to awaken, to shift atmospheres, and to call people higher by simply existing in your truth. You give people goosebumps because you remind them of their own calling, their own authenticity, and their own potential, whether they are ready to face it or not. Chosen one, keep showing up, keep walking in that quiet authority that needs no announcement. Keep living in your truth, knowing your presence alone is a wake-up call, not just a visit. You don't need to force what your spirit already carries. You are felt, you are seen, and you are here for a reason bigger than applause, and that, chosen one, is your power. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because if you're serious about your growth, you'll want to stay connected here. Drop a like if this spoke to you, and comment below with the part that hit you the hardest, so others can be encouraged too. And if you know someone who needs this wake-up call, share this video with them. Let's keep building a community of chosen ones who are done shrinking and ready to walk in alignment, authority, and authenticity. We're not here for empty motivation. We're here to shift atmospheres, grow, and walk boldly in purpose. I'll see you in the next one. Stay aligned, stay grounded, and keep moving in your calling.